Hey Rockstar, success is not something you pursue. Success is something you become. Jim Rohn. Welcome to episode 68. It's going to be a good show. Miguel, do the thing.
Hey Rockstar, welcome. This is a storytelling platform designed to empower you to build yourself up physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, and financially. Why stories? Because stories live on. They are eternal. They are a powerful reminder of what one can accomplish when opportunity presents itself. So listen carefully, learn the lessons, apply them to the big five, and become the rock star of your industry.
And just like that, we're back. Welcome back, everyone. I know you missed us. I know you missed this show. I missed you guys. We took a long break between season 2 and season 3, but it is September 29th, the official birthday of Hey Rockstar, the show. 2 years ago, during pandemic, on the 29th, we launched out just to have a place to tell the stories, and now we're going on season 3. And I kind of like that the 29th fell on a Thursday, because Thursday is when I normally do the shows, so it's just perfect. I'm gonna start doing it this time, 11:30ish, 11:40ish, depending on how things are going. But hey, if you are live, if you're checking this live, go ahead and make a comment. I'll try to keep in touch, or just keeping track with what's going on. But other than that, I'm just glad to be back. I miss being on the live stream. I miss chatting and sharing the stories, because so much has happened, Rockstar. So much has happened since the last show we did right before spring break. Yeah, if you can believe it's been that long since we last did our show. But other than that, again, for those of you who are trying to figure out what the heck is going on, I'm Josafat Emiliano. We started this show. It's a storytelling platform. We share my stories. We share my friends' stories, stories with value that you can possibly find some bit of information that could help you move forward to accomplish your goal. We focus on, well, of course, there's 5 levels of growth, the big 5, but mainly in my talks, we focus on detaching from failure, taking ownership, developing the right mindset so that you can then become the rock star of your industry. My goal is to keep these around half an hour when I don't have a guest. Now, when I have a guest, however long the guest wants to take, but if it's just you and me, let's keep it 30 minutes or so. Unless you guys start commenting and asking questions, then we can keep the ball rolling. But let's go in. For those of you who are joining us on your lunch break, howdy. Where are you joining in from? Let us know. Let's focus on the title, A Rockstar Legacy. All right, so, man, I need to catch you guys up, because last time we talked, I was a school teacher. I was a Spanish high school second-year teacher. Great time. I loved the kids. I loved working with them. But as those of you know, I didn't go to school for that. I didn't go to become a teacher. I went for public speaking communications, amongst other things, and ministry backgrounds and such. But since pandemic, let's just talk about that. Since pandemic, we've had to adapt. We had to, the last thing I had before pandemic, I was the technical director at a performance arts center here in Tennessee. And when they ran out of money, they kind of had to let us all go. And so I had to figure it out. I had to start using my capable hands to do multiple odd jobs to survive, to make it work, to keep going forward. And a lot of you have followed me on that journey when I went from an educator or freelancer to educator, and then still back and forth. Eventually, I got into the high ticket sale world. I started training myself in that as a closer and setter for different offers out there. And that's been fun. That's kind of where I'm at now, and the company that I find myself with right now. I'm in the financial industry, or the finance industry, and just to learn that whole different world. It's in depth, but I kind of want to clarify why I am where I'm at now. It has to do with legacy, not so much my legacy, but my family's legacy. Now, I come from a hard-working family. I come from a God-fearing family. Both of my sides, my mother and father, I can trace back our salvation to at least my grandparents. On my dad's side, I can even go to my great-grandfather. Just the story of faith, family, and I guess you could say finances. But I've had I just remember stories of my grandpa. Whenever he had to retire, he suddenly became ill because my aunts and uncles were telling Dad, you need to rest. You shouldn't work so hard. And he got ill quickly. He got sick quickly, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And my dad, being the oldest, said, "Just let him work. Let him do whatever he can." And so they finally released him, and he started going, and he was collecting copper and collecting cans, and he was providing something for the household, although he didn't need it because the house was being taken care of by the family. But it's still just the act of working and providing. He got well. He got stronger, and he was just happy and joyful, and that's the kind of legacy that my grandpa learned at an early age, that he had to. It was his responsibility to provide. Now, no, it was his right to provide. I don't want to say responsibility. It's a responsibility, but it's also his right, his blessing to work and provide for his family. And as long as he knew he could do that, as long as he had strength, he could do that, he was good. Mentally, physically, spiritually, he was good. My father is another story who followed that trajectory. He followed my grandfather's example, and he worked. Although my father went into ministry at a very early age, he went to a Bible school around 16. By 18, he was already doing mission work in the jungles of Mexico. So his life has been devoted to ministry. But even while he was working in ministry, he was a church planter, and church planters really don't go into churches that have money. You are building from nothing. So he had to also depend on his ability to work and provide while he was helping to plant a church or lead a congregation. This led so much. The story goes on that he eventually came to the States. Funny story. My dad is American. My dad, I can share this because a lot of people know this. My dad, he's I guess second, third generation born here. I'm fourth or fifth, around there. Anyway, let's move the story on. But my father grew up around the Mexican culture. He that's what he learned and he was comfortable with, and he actually speaks all Spanish, hardly no English. But that's just the way he chooses to be. So much so that he went into Mexico, and when he graduated from Bible school, he was working hard, and he was building stuff there in Veracruz. And he thought he was going to make a life there. I think he was about 21 years old when he's like, this is it. I might as well buy some land, build a home. I mean, he hasn't found anyone. At that point, he's still kind of single. He's like, I haven't found anyone, but I guess once I have a land, and I'll find somebody. And at the time, the government kind of arrested him, confiscated his property, and told him, you are American citizen. You have no right to just buy property like that. He didn't go through the right ways, I guess. I guess he just gave money to someone, thought that's a done deal. My word's my bond, as it was back in those days. But the government's like, no. And so they confiscated him. They took it all away from him, and they deported him to the United States. Yes, you heard that right. My father was the first Latino. Not the first, but I joke around like, Dad, you're the only Latino that I know that gets deported out of Mexico, not into Mexico. Anyway, they drop him off in West Texas. He has no idea. He's far away from home, anyone, but he gets involved in the circles there. He finds the Baptist circles and starts ministering, and that's where he winds up meeting my mom at these events. And like I like to tell everyone, him being a Pentecostal, my mom being a Baptist, he taught her how to kiss in tongues. Anyway, many years later, my siblings and I come into being. I hope my mom watches this later on. I can see her rolling her eyes. Ay, mijo. But even when he was planning a church, because in West Texas, there really wasn't anything. He had to start from scratch and helping ministry. And even while he was working in ministry, him and my grandfather and my uncles and my aunts, they all adopted a hard work ethic that, yes, we trust in God, but we also know that he gave us the capability, the ability to work hard and provide for our families, provide something for our families, which is our right. It's our privilege. And so my dad has an interesting story that he shared once and it's his view on debt and bank. He said that he went into the bank because he heard how in the bank they loan you money to get things like cars and houses, and he's like, well, then I'm gonna go see if I can get a loan to get a car. And he went to the bank, and of course this is when he was recently deported into the States. He really had no credit. He had nothing to his name. He had nothing, and he went to the bank, and he got declined. He got rejected. They tell him, we don't know you from Adam, so sorry, sir. Sorry, amigo, but you do not qualify. And my father said that this rubbed him the wrong way when he's changed since. But at that moment, he said to himself, I don't, how do you put it? He was like, you know what? At that point, I decided I wash my hands of this. I'm deciding that I will no longer depend on man or someone else, a bank or establishment for money. I'll depend on God and what I can create with my hands. And he went to work. He worked in farms. He worked in the cotton patches. He worked in a lot of agricultural things. And of course, he knew enough English and Spanish. My grandpa knew more English than my dad. Enough to get by. Enough than the other Hispanics at the time. And so they became like middlemen and translators, almost like just busy. And this is not just my dad's story. It's also my uncle's stories, my aunt's stories when they came over here, and just the difference of mindset that they believed in God. Whenever I hear my mentors say, pray like it's up to God, but work like it's up to you, that was evident in my family, in my heritage. All that. Many, many years later, my father now is beyond retirement age, but being in ministry, he says he doesn't feel the need to retire. He's like, I won't retire. I'll be promoted when God calls me home. And he's got his funds. He's got everything. He's built quite a good life for him and for my mom and even for my siblings. We've all moved out now, save one, but still, we all are all going out and trying on our own. And this story, I've shared it with many, many other people since starting in the financial industry. Not too long ago, actually last year, my dad's youngest brother passed away. Came and a year later, my cousins had an event to honor him. You see, my uncle used to open his house for all the youth growing up to go play volleyball, to have fellowship. He and my aunt would take us to camps. They went above and beyond to help the youth at the time, to be counselors for us, to teachers for us. It's just someone that we could look up to, and we appreciated it. And so fast forward to a year after his death, my cousins decided to put on an event inviting anyone who was ever impacted by just the blessing of my uncle to come and relive those fun times of playing and fellowshipping and eating. It was, and I made an attempt to go. It was intentionality to go spend time with friends and family. And it was just so good. I was so full of what was going on that afterwards, and I made a weekend of it. So it was like Saturday, but I went ahead and stuck around a few more days after that. And my dad's like, well, son, since you're going to be in town, come share it at my church. Come talk. I'm like, Dad, I don't preach anymore, but I will share my story. I will share what's going on. And so I went to the service and I just shared the story of Ezekiel, and then how my life was following that of a man who worked hard to achieve a dream of becoming high priest, but because of something else, for circumstances, situations, not even his own fault, something came and he lost it all. And in the bitterness, in the pridefulness, lost at the river, that's where God finds him. And that's where God humbles him. And not only that, but God fills him. And then God calls him to a higher level. He says, basically, Ezekiel worked for a dream to become the high priest, but God's dream for Ezekiel was to become a prophet, the very voice and authority of God. And see, I took that as like I had my dreams, I had my plans. As those of you who have followed my stories, follow me as a speaker, you know that I talk about plan A, plan B, plan C. You know, plan A is the adopted plan. Plan B is just the stay busy plan. Fake it till you make it. Plan C is just to make something up, create something, be creative. And the problem with these plans is they fail. Now, if you identify with that failure, then you are stuck. That's why I teach about detaching yourself from failure, because the failure is not you. You are not a failure. The plan failed. You are not broken. The system you're using is broken. We need to detach from that. We need to take ownership of your life and figure out where you want to go. Develop that mindset by adding value and coming up with a plan and just knowing who you are, and then become the rock star of your industry. There you go. I just gave you the whole speech in less than a minute right there, maybe 2 minutes. Rewind that. I shared so much. Afterwards, I had people coming up to me like, that was different, but we liked it. Thank you for bringing the principles. Even my dad's like, wow, we learned some biblical principles on money and dreams and all this stuff. And like, I mean, that's what I've been living, because I live by the promises. I live by the word. It's in me. I just don't preach. I don't. Anyway, we're going to go there right now. This is about legacy, a rock star's legacy. And so that Sunday evening, we're sitting in my dad's front porch. And at West Texas in the summer, they have long days. Like the sun's out till like 8 p.m. So I want to say it was like 7:30ish. And we were still sitting out there and the sunset was coming out. Dusk was happening. But we were just sitting out there admiring what was going on. And I guess the fact that I went there to celebrate my uncle had my dad thinking about mortality, about the finiteness of what is life. And he just sighed. I'm like, uh-oh. And just, he opened up in all honesty, and I hope I'm not embarrassing him with this, because he shouldn't be embarrassed. But he said, mijo, actually, I'll just translate for you. He's like, son, my biggest regret right now is that when I leave, when my time's up on this earth, I'm not going to leave any kind of inheritance for you, your brother, or your sisters. It threw me, it sideswiped me. It was hard for me to believe, or just think of myself, that it's so unfair that a man who's devoted 70 years of his life to ministry, to building, to working, to sacrificing. He didn't lose any of us. I'm definitely not starving. Only to come to the end of his run thinking that it wasn't enough. And he didn't do anything wrong. He simply followed what he was taught to do. Work hard, save money, maybe buy a house, maybe cars, make sure your kids go to college if they want to. But other than that, he felt like he was leaving nothing for us. And that didn't sit well with me, that my father had this regret. Because to me, this shouldn't be a regret. But yet it was there. The trip ended. On my way home, flying in, I was in that same, because I started thinking about my life. I started thinking about all the adventures I've had, how I went to seminary or Bible school, and then after that, I joined SMR for 5 years, helped out thousands of people in different countries, building things. And I know it says, I've stored up treasures in heaven. I get that. I do get that. But I couldn't help to think that after that, when I got involved in working in the production, when I got involved in working in film, when I got involved in making money and learning how to make a lot of money after paying my tithes, after paying whatever off, and I was following the same system. Work hard, save a little bit, maybe get a house, maybe get a car. But other than that, I don't have a family. For sure, I don't have kids. But other than that, if something were to happen to me today, I'm not leaving anyone anything. And I started this year, 2022, I started asking God to help me have a healthy relationship with money, because my mindset towards money was wrong. I was following what a lot of us in the church, at least Pentecostal circles, were taught. That if you're poor, you're holy. No. Or that money's bad. The love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah. But I said, God, I am the outcome of the people I learned from. Up until now, this has been the only lesson I know. And that's why I'm getting the results that I'm getting. If I want that outcome to change, then I need to change the people that speak into my life. I need to seek mentors, godly men and women who know money, have worked with money, and have blessed others because of it. And so in my own church, I know people like this in this industry. And that's what got me into the sales, high ticket sales, because I started talking to them at church like, hey, even one, I'm not gonna mention his name, but we both went to Southwestern we graduated the same year. But it's funny that we didn't even connect till we were here. He was more into the music production. I was into the mission stuff. But now he's doing well in finances, a wealth of knowledge, and such a motivator and speaker and influencer. And I'm like, I need help. And he goes, well, join our mentorship. Let's do what you got to do to join the mentorship. And I did. I figured it out. I joined. I learned so much. I learned about the mindset. That's the most important thing you need to start. If anything, ladies and gentlemen, to change your legacy, the Rockstar legacy starts with the mindset. If you're not happy with where you're at right now, you need to change the way you think, because that's what brought you to here. Take ownership of that. You are here because of the choices and thoughts that you've had yesterday. If you want to change, and you need to start changing your choices and thoughts today so that tomorrow will look different. Take that. That's part of the Rockstar legacy. And so I started hearing the word of God through these men speak differently. I even found a rabbi who has a book out, Rabbi Daniel Lapin, called, the first book is called Thou Shalt Prosper, and the other one is Business Secrets of the Bible. And it's all godly wealth. And like, these are practices that wealthy people practice, not even knowing that they're biblical principles. Why don't I? And I like quoting the scripture. There's a promise that said it's to the glory of God to conceal the matters, but it's to the glory of the King to find it. You see, God laid it out at the very beginning. He let it out because he said at the beginning, he said it was perfect. It was all ready, but we had to find and scavenge and dig and build and learn and use our God-given abilities, our intelligence, our hands, our strength to create wealth from what God has already provided. Someone once said, God never in his life ever made a chair. God never made a table. God made a tree. And he let us use what he made, the raw materials, to use our creativeness, ingenuity to create tables and chairs, houses. Everything that was made, God inspired us to make it. But he gave us the raw materials. He left the secrets hidden for us to find. It's kind of like when you play scavenger hunt with your kids or your youth. And you make it easy for them to find, even though the younger they are, the easier you make it for them to find. Even though it takes them for a while, but eventually you're leading them. Come on. There's signs everywhere. Come on. Just like you tell the kid, you're getting hot. Oh no, you're getting cold. That's the same way Holy Spirit is with me and with you. You're getting hot. Oh no, you're getting cold. Oh yeah, keep walking this way. So much so that eventually, through entering into this area of networking through high ticket sales and just meeting people in all walks, connecting amazing people. I have connections all over the world now thanks to being in this industry. Eventually, I found, or they found me. They reached out to me and said, "Hey, you were in this conference I was at. You were involved in the Q&A. You mentioned that you're looking for. Would you ever be open for new opportunities and ideas?" Like, honestly, I know you're in the financial industry. I want to learn about that, because my prayer at that time was, God, I got the physical, spiritual, mental, and social, but the financial part of the big five, I'm kind of failing you there. I mean, other than giving tithes and saving some money, I really don't know what I'm doing. I have put something in the stocks in the veritable, but we all see how that's going right now. And she goes, perfect. We can work with curiosity, because I was curious to know more about her offer. And so I met with her and her business partners, and they showed me and they educated me, and they taught me the rules of money. They taught me on just how I can use just the financial services that are available that I can use now, not when I was younger or when I'm older. And it blew my mind that this stuff was always available to me. I was inept. I didn't know, but I was hungry to know. I wanted to be that king that found the matter that God concealed. And then later on they said, but you're really good at teaching others. You're really good at talking to others. Like, would you be interested in do you think you could teach this to others? Like, heck yeah. I want to teach my family, my friends, anyone. Heck, I have a congregation on Hey Rockstar that I'm sure that you guys want to know this stuff too. So, I said 30 minutes-ish for this first lesson. The legacy goes as this is a Rockstar legacy. I have learned from my grandfather and my father, and to this day, how to work hard for others, Oh, I'm damn good at working hard for others. I am really good at killing myself, breaking myself to build someone else's dream. I've done it my whole life as an employer. As an employee. But one of the secrets of the Bible is to get yourself a part-time business or just a business. Because business means you are involved in the community. Business means you can provide for your community. Services, goods, help, aid, whatever, you are there to provide and bring fellowship to your community. And here's the kicker. Here's the beautiful thing. Which is the best way to repay a parent for something they did to you? Do it forward to their children. Bless their sons. Bless their daughters. Doing that will make the parent feel so much more paid back than if you were to actually give them hardcore cold cash. How much more, Heavenly Father? When you learn to provide services for His children, when you do a great job and provide for one another, your Heavenly Father will make sure that the money comes to you, because money is spiritual. Money follows those who are working towards helping the community. And so I had to ask myself, Lord, let me be that rock star. Let that be my legacy. That for the rest of my days on this earth, while I have breath, I want to provide for your children. I want to help educate your children. I want to take the secrets that have been practiced by the ultra wealthy for the longest time and teach the middle class, working class, so that they will be recession proof, so that they will no longer have to deal with this debt, become debt free, recession proof, save on taxes legally. Things that were set up for you and for me. I'm just now seeing everything that you guys sent me. Yeah, we should have a servant's heart. Thank you, Caesar. What did Alex Tinker? You need to change your thoughts today to change tomorrow. Yep. So on that note, let's end this with a bang. Happy birthday, Rockstar. Season 3. I love the look that we have going on for season 3. And also, on a side note, the 29th is also my birthday. September 29th is also my birthday. Which is why I launched Hey Rockstar. Because if we're going to celebrate a birthday, I want to celebrate this. Because this is out to bless others. But anyway, I am happy. If you guys, if this message hit you out, go to my social medias. Go to anywhere. I have a Calendly link now that I have set up to help you guys just have a talk. Let's just have a talk. Let me show you what I'm doing, because you might find the answers that you've been praying for, looking for, at least in the financial, maybe other areas. If not, if I can't help you, I know a guy. I can guarantee you I know someone in my network that can help you out. So just reach out to me with whatever needs you have. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope this show has proven to give you a lot of value. Can't wait to see what guests we're going to bring, how it's going to look. But my only request is that you take all this value that we give you, apply it to your life, and become the rock star of your industry. Until next time, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Josafat, El Guapo Emiliano. And just thank you. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. So until next time, much love and many blessings.